do just want to show you my natural nails, and we're going to be doing the Apres Dupe method today. A few things I'll be using is my Apres Extend Gel in the Sasha color, my E-nail Couture Coffin tips, and I'm going to jump right into prepping my cuticles. So I just going to quickly touch them up because my cuticles do grow out about every 3 days or so. And it's just been a few days since I did my last nail prep. A lot of things just kind of took place and I wasn't able to go ahead and immediately apply my Apres Dupe. So like I said, I'm just going to give it a quick touch up so that as soon as I put my tips on, everything is good to go. Now, an alternative option to this, if you don't have a drill bit, would be to take the rounded end of your nail file and actually push your cuticles back with the nail file. So it's going to be etching up that dead skin while pushing your cuticles back at the same time. Also, I'm going to be using these lint-free wipes just to make sure that I'm able to get all the dust that I just created. I'm using my Young Nail Swipes. It has a push top on it, so just a little gentle push will give you enough. And I wipe off the dust from my cuticle area before I get started with my next step. This also takes off any oils that might be on your nail bed to ensure a lasting application. Now I'm going to be sizing the tips. This is called the Apres Dupe because I'm not using the Apres nails. I am using the E-nail Couture. I generally know my sizes, but it's always good to just double check because sometimes the tips can get a little out of shape during shipping. So you want to make sure when you are sizing, you're looking to make sure that the tips meet the side walls, that they're not too short, or that they're also not hanging over. But if you do run into an issue where you can't really find your right size, these are gel tips and they're very soft as well. So you can just file it to fit your cuticle area as well as your side walls. Not this shape, but the mini stiletto shape from E-nail. The bottom portion is kind of too flat for my cuticle roundness. So I do have to go in with a nail filer, a hand file, and just kind of file those sides off to make sure that the nail fits perfectly. So once I get all my sizes ready, I am going to be using my ceramic safety bit. It is a fine grit, and I'm just going to be etching the inside of the nail. Now, this is not necessary for everyone, but I do like to use it because I am very rough on my hands. I have 3 girls, so I'm doing hair, I'm opening boxes of candy, I'm doing this, I'm picking up toys. So I always just etch just to kind of give me that extra security. You do see me lining it up because I etch all the way up to where my free edge meets the gel nail. And I'm just going to be doing this to all of the tips, all 10. So after that is done, I'm going to take all of the tips and just lightly file the cuticle area on the top portion. And what this does is it takes away that edge and makes it a little bit more flush to your cuticles. I'm also going to be using base coat gel, Young Nail Protein Bond, and my Kiara Sky Pro Cure. And the reason why I use this is because it's so easy to get your hand in and out, especially when you're applying these tips. You do have to kind of hold on to the tip at the same time and put your hand in the light, which is really difficult to do with just a regular LED lamp. So I just get this all plugged up, and if you don't have that, you can always use this little flashy here, which is just a LED flashlight that you can get for like $5 on Amazon. I used to use it. I would cut it on and just kind of hold it in my mouth and bring my nail up to the light while I hold it so that I can get those tips cured on. So what I'm doing at this time is I'm just putting on my Young Nail Protein Bond. This is my primer. And as I mentioned before, I'm really rough on my nails, so I always go in with 2 coats, and I give very special attention to the cuticle area as well as the side walls. Right where the cuticle and the side wall meet, I put a little bit extra there just to be sure that I minimize any chance of lifting, even if I would have banged my nail. So what I do now is I just apply my base coat to my nails. When I do the base coat, I am doing very, very thin layers. I don't like to cake it all up because I'm then going to go on top of this with more extend gel and the tips. And I just like to have the base layer as thin as possible. That's my personal preference, not saying that it's something that you have to do, but it is my personal preference, and I find that it works very well for me. So what I'm doing now is actually applying the extend gel. I do have the color Sasha. With this extend gel directly from Apres, it is very thick. The viscosity is very thick, and I actually like that a lot. Before using this, I was actually putting my tips on with top coat. Because it was clear, I already had it, it was around, easy to grab, but top coat is not as thick, so I would get like running out on the sides of the nail, and I would have to go back and file that off. Now, with using this Apres, they do have different colors now, and I find that the Sasha works perfect for my nail bed. As you can see on the left, I put the coat. On the right is just my regular plain nail bed. And it kind of works like a really good skin foundation if you're into makeup. It just covers all the nail bed, making everything look nice and uniform. After I do that, I dip my brush and I just scrape some out into the cuticle area of the tip itself. Now I will go in and spread that out to cover the etched area, just like a nice thin layer, cover the etched area. And then I go back in one more time and just add a little bit more at the cuticle so that when I apply my nail on and I press down, the fluid is like moving forward, and you'll see that right now. So I'm applying the cuticle. I don't put the nail under the cuticle. I just put it right at the cuticle where the cuticle skin meets my nail bed, and I give it a light, gentle press. And once it gets to the free edge, I go ahead and stick my hand right in that light. And like I said, if you don't have a light like this, you can like prop your nail lamp up a little bit so that you're able to get your hand in and out easy. Or you can even use a little flashlight, LED flashlight, which works well also. So I'm going to be showing you these first 2 fingers in real time. This again is me just putting a very thin layer on the nail bed. And this kind of moves around like a builder, a gel builder. It has that type of feeling to it. So again, you can see a little bit of the difference between my natural nail bed and my nail bed covered with the Sasha color. I'm going in again one more time, covering up that etched area. And then I go ahead and I scrape some into the cuticle. And this baby is locked and loaded. Again, I apply right where the cuticle meets the skin. I don't go under the cuticle at all. I give a gentle press, and then also I'm using my finger that I'm applying to put pressure upwards. So I'm holding the tip down, I'm putting pressure upwards with my finger itself, and I go right into the lamp. That kind of helps keep it stabilized while it's curing. I give it a little quick cure, about 15 seconds. And then you want to make sure that you go in at the end and give this a really good cure, because the Extend Gel is kind of dark. So you want to make sure that it cures all the way through. And here's the end result. So you see all my nail beds are covered. I have my Apres Dupe nails applied, and up under it, since the Extend Gel does have a tacky layer, that little bit that you see that came over the free edge, I'm going to be using my Young Nail Swipe to take away that tacky layer. Here we go. I'm going to use a Q-tip on it, just give a really light push so it doesn't fill up the reservoir completely. And I just take a Q-tip and I roll it back and forth across the Extend Gel, like I said, to take off that tacky layer, because if not, if you do any filing, all of the dust will collect onto that Extend Gel, and it'll be really hard to take off once dust and hair and lint from your pants and everything is on there. So you definitely just want to make sure that before you do any polishing, any filing, you want to get up under those nails. If you don't have Young Nail Swipe, any dehydrator, alcohol, acetone will work to get that tacky layer off of the Extend Gel nail. And here we go. That's what we have. All my Apres Dupe nails have been applied. They're on nice and good.